Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here on our live Tuesday night webinar. Excited for you guys tonight. I have one of our co-founders, Julie, here tonight. You're definitely in for a treat. If you have not heard from her, my goodness, talk about a wealth of knowledge. Talk about that someone actually cares about people and making sure that every deal that comes our way here at Partner Driven is a win, win, win. On behalf of Partner Driven, my name is Roland. Thank you all for being here on time and for turning on your cameras. And that way we can have a great interaction tonight, as if we're all in the same room. Obviously, this is a live Zoom call. Do me a favor in the chat, which is how we're going to communicate. Do me a favor and type in where you're calling in from. We like to keep Tuesday nights small, intimate, really a chance for us to get to know you, and more importantly, for you to get to know us. Hey, Stephanie, glad to see you here again. Definitely will be a treat here tonight. I know you've heard from Julie in the past, but my goodness, talk about a wealth of knowledge. Is that right? In the chat, let me know where you're calling in from. Want to say hello to some folks. Make sure that we've got North Georgia in the house. Of course, Stephanie from Georgia as well. Um, is it only Georgia in the house? Because I know Julie's from Georgia as well. So she may have just invited people from Georgia. Nah, just teasing. We got Eric from North Dakota. Nice, nice, nice. And we got Texas in the house. We got Michigan. Hey, Dan, glad you're here. James Williams from Nashville. I just came from Nashville. James, man, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. One of the top five places I'm considering moving to in the near future. Ted from Washington State. We got Wale. Hey, glad you made it. DMV area, Maryland, of course. We got Esther from Texas. You're driving. Please be careful. We got iPhone 2, South Mississippi. If you don't mind changing your name, that way we can call you accordingly. That'd be amazing. And of course, we got Kevin from Florida. Welcome, welcome, you guys again. Special treat tonight. Typically I have our other founder, Peter, here join us to kind of do some Q&A, but tonight we want to give you a kind of behind the scenes look of what it takes to do deals here, but also to give you one example, just one example of the many marketing channels we have here. And tonight specifically is about pre-foreclosures. And no matter where you live, no matter how long you've been in the game, we all have seen someone, heard it kind of happening where people essentially lose their house back to the bank. And if you can be a source, if you can help other people out of that situation, you get paid handsomely for helping somebody out, so helping someone out of a sticky situation. The good news is I'm not the main speaker tonight. I do have, as I mentioned, our co-founder Julie, who herself respectively has done over 1,700 deals, fixing, flipping houses, wholesale hotel deals, all the different type of exits, creative deals as well. But really, in my humble opinion, the heartbeat of our organization. You may not see her often too much on these calls because she's behind the scenes working with the partners, especially when it comes to the rehabs. So very fortunate for us to have her here join us tonight. If you don't have a notebook already, I highly recommend you grab one. We're going to be dropping some nuggets tonight. But Julie, thank you, thank you. I know you're very busy. I
Oh my
appreciate your time.
goodness. Thank you, Roland, so much for the warm introduction. I truly,
Absolutely.
truly appreciate it. Oh, by the way, hey, Stephanie, how are you doing? Stephanie was just at our last live event, and her and I got some big plans this year. So I'm super, super excited for all of that. So listen, tonight, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about a strategy to find deals. Okay. So, one thing you'll hear from me, and I'm going to keep kind of doing these on Tuesday, this is all about training in real estate investing. Okay. So, I'm going to let you know after doing deals for this long, the very, very best deals you're ever going to find are always going to be direct to seller. Okay. What do I mean by that? That means you're actually communicating with the owner of the house. Okay. And a lot of people just worry about the house rolling. Like all they care about is what is the condition of the house. The condition of the house actually doesn't matter at all. It's the condition of the people that are involved with the house. Okay. So our goal should always be to solve people's house problems. So tonight, I'm going to go through a presentation about pre-foreclosures and why it is in my top three favorite things to go after. Which definitely is pre-foreclosures. I love driving for dollars, and a lot of you are going to hate me, but I love cold calling too because once you get good with that, it's just not that hard. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get started here as I value everybody's time. A couple of things that I would like to share is where we are right now, right? Like this is not 2008. Hold on a second. It's been a minute since I did this. Okay. So everybody sees my screen, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So we're going to be learning about pre-foreclosures and guys doing what I call the win-win scenario by helping yourself while you're also helping the community. If your goal is to just make money in this business, sure, you may do some deals, okay? But when your goal is to not only benefit yourself along with somebody else, you truly have a business there, okay? You're not basing everything on how much money can I make off of this deal. It's how do I make this a win-win? Right? And when I'm talking to sellers that are in this situation, I 1000% want to help them out because you know why? I've been there. I've been there. So it's having the empathy of what someone's going through. Here's some recent numbers. So just in January alone, Roland, 40,534 people in the United States were filed in foreclosure. Okay.
Crazy.
That is up 32% just over last year. And by the way, that is one in every 3,500 houses. Now, those numbers sound huge, right? Like you think, okay, well, one in 3,500 is not that much, but think how little, how big a city is. There are lots of people that are in this situation, and we're going to navigate together on just how to work with these individuals and create that win-win. So for me, I kind of took this as like, you know what? Like, I have this duty. I have this duty to help individuals that are in this situation. And the main reason I have this duty is because I didn't have the knowledge that I have now, like when I was going through this situation. So now that I have the knowledge and the experience, I feel like I have a duty, and you should too, to help people that are in pre foreclosure. So, what is pre foreclosure? Pre-foreclosure refers to the first phase of the legal proceeding that ultimately conclude in the property being repossessed from a defaulted borrower. In pre-foreclosure, the lender files a notice of default on the property because the borrowing owner exceeds their contractual terms for delinquent payments. So really, when they file foreclosure, it's a lawsuit. So the seller went into a contract with the lender and said, hey, I'll make such and such payments for you loaning me the money on it, right? Then when they don't get paid, they're going to go file this lawsuit with that local county and or parish or municipality. And that's how it becomes a pre-foreclosure when they file that notice. Now, there's two different types of pre-foreclosure because it's different in different states. So, number one, you have a judicial. Number two, you have a non-judicial. It's very simply broke down to in a judicial foreclosure, the lender goes to court to get a judgment to foreclose on your home. So the lender goes to court and files a judgment to foreclose on your house. In a non-judicial state, the lender doesn't even have to go to court. Which, it's kind of blows my mind, but let's go over what a judicial foreclosure is. I want you to understand these things because I'm going to show you soon what state you're in so you'll know the difference. So you know how to talk to sellers because information is key and confidence is key when you're talking to somebody in this situation. So in judicial foreclosure, the lender or server sends out 3 letters to the borrower about the borrower's non-payment at day 30, 60, and 90. So they've got to send out a 30-day notice, a 60-day notice, and a 90-day notice. Then the first thing that happens is a lawsuit is filed by the lender in the court system and served to the borrower to officially start the pre-foreclosure process. Number 2, the borrower has to respond to the foreclosure lawsuit before the court hearing date is set. The borrower can raise objections and delay the process. Now, what are some of those things that a lender can that a person can do to delay the process? Well, you know what? The lender could have did some procedural issues, missteps by the lender, or if somebody's in active duty military, they could not foreclose on your house when you're serving overseas. And you know what? They shouldn't be able to. So they can go to the court and raise those objections and kind of stop that from happening. The third thing that happened, if the borrower doesn't respond within a certain amount of days of when that is filed, which varies kind of state by state, then the court will grant a default judgment, which allows the lender to move forward with the foreclosure. Number four, the foreclosure case is heard by a judge in the court, and either the lawsuit is dismissed or the judge orders the loan to be foreclosed on by setting a foreclosure auction sell date. Number five, the public foreclosure sale date is advertised. And at the auction, the property is sold to the highest bidder, or if nobody bids, then the foreclosing lender takes the property back. Okay. So a lot of us like wonder, well, how do you know somebody is in pre-foreclosure? Well, I'll tell you why, because it's public record. It is a public lawsuit that is filed that stands to reason there that you're knowing when this happens. Then the proceeds are split up this way: the mortgage holder, any other lien holders, and any other leftover proceeds go to the former owner of the property. You know what's funny, Roland? After working with like so many people that went through foreclosure, do you think these homeowners ever actually get any money back?
No way.
No, because the lenders charge so much money in late fees and attorney's fees, it absolutely eats up all the equity in their home. So even though this process is made to seem fair to the average American that's going through this, really in the end, they're left without anything. Okay. Number seven, the borrower can exercise a statutory redemption right after the sale if that exists in the state. Like in the state of Michigan, after you're foreclosed on, you have a 6 months right of redemption, meaning you can go and pay that back and get your house back. Well, I live in Georgia. That statute does not adhere. Then a certificate of title or sheriff deed is given to the winning bidder after the state's statutory redemption period is over. So now let's go through a non-judicial foreclosure. And then I'm going to show you guys what state you're in so you'll kind of know the difference. So just like the other one, you're going to be served 3 letters at 30, 60, and 90 days. The trustee files a notice of default with their county or public recorder's. Then a date for the trustee sale is set. The length of time between the filing of the notice of default and the public trustee sale, it's going to vary according to what state you live in. The trustee sale is advertised to the public, and the trustee sale takes place at the property is auctioned off to the highest bidder or taken back by the lender if the lender doesn't get outbid. So like to me, the biggest thing is that the lender can bid against other people at the auction. So if it's what you would consider a good deal, the lender can send somebody there to negotiate to at this auction to take this house back. Number five, a trustee's deed is provided to the highest bidder after any statutory redemption period expires. That's the same. I'll take just a moment if you'll want to look here and see what state you're in. Most states are non-judicial. Okay, hopefully I've given enough time for you to find your state here. All right, so let's kind of get into the emotional side of a little bit of this business, okay? If you're going to be talking to sellers that are going through, let's say, a pre-foreclosure. So, by the way, we want to get people before their house is foreclosed on. So, right after they're served that notice of default, because it is permanent, it's a public record, we know they're going through this situation, right? So, for you to have the empathy that you need, for you to be able to talk to sellers, you need to really understand what happens when somebody is foreclosed on. If a foreclosure sale results in excess proceeds, the lender doesn't get to keep all that money. The lender is entitled to an amount that's sufficient to pay off the outstanding balance of the loan, plus, this is the thing, costs associated with the foreclosure and sale, but no more. I have seen in several times where the lender has charged $70,000, $80,000 in attorney's fees and late fees. To me, that's it's absolutely criminal, right? But they are obligated to pay in the access there. Eviction. So let me go back here. Homeowners, you lose the down payment that you made at the time of purchase and all the mortgage payments that you've made during the ownership of their home. Homeowners also lose the amount of any appreciation in market value that they've occurred during the purchase of their home. So let's talk about how do we buy properties through people in foreclosure. And it's gaining an edge. It does present multiple challenges, but for a lot of people, they only work pre-foreclosures. This is their niche. So you really want to have that edge there. The only thing that's a little bit tricky about dealing with somebody in pre-foreclosure, there's a lot of emotion around it, right? Would you guys not agree that if someone is going through foreclosure or are in pre-foreclosure, that there's going to be a ton of emotion behind it?
Absolutely, Julie, especially if they've lived in that home for 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. You put everything in it. It's your home is your home base, right? It is where your kids come, where your grandkids come, where you build a life with your family. There's a lot of emotions there. Now, what you've got to do though is you've got to focus on having that empathy. I'm not saying you need to feel sorry for anybody. Nobody wants you to feel sorry for them. But it's also important, though, that you at least understand what they're going through and you have that empathetic spirit so you know, hey, I get where you're coming from, but I'm here to help you solve your house problems, okay? Because I'll tell you, sellers, they just tend to stick their head in the sand, right? When something goes wrong, it's very much human nature to just, hey, this bad thing's happening. Let me just not address it. I'm going to stick my head in the sand and just wait till it has to be pulled out. Well, listen, as a real estate investor who focuses on creating a win-win scenario for the seller and you, it's your job to pull their heads out of the sand, right? It's your job to have that empathy, the gusto to do those things because you never know what somebody's going through in their life at that moment. So here's how to find people that are in pre-foreclosure. Newspapers. In most states, foreclosing lenders are generally required to publish legal foreclosure notices in a locally circulated newspaper. A phone call or a visit to your county clerk's office will put you on the right path to finding the newspaper that it's been approved for such notices. Again, because it is a lawsuit that the lender files, this is all public record. You could go online. In a lot of counties, the quickest and most efficient way to find public records on pending foreclosures is online. To check online, just run a quick search for your county notice of defaults or list pendants. Okay. You can also call or visit your clerk's office to find out where they are published online. Remember, if you're dealing with a local county, These are people that are paid for by the county. Don't ever be afraid to call your county and ask for this information. This is what they get paid for. Okay. So don't ever be afraid to do that. Or this day and age, it is 2026, and you can go to dealdriven.com and search everything you need. You can go on there and do individual property searches. You can do a search of a particular county. In that county, you could filter it out by equity. Because maybe you only want to fix and flip, and maybe you only want to wholesale. In those scenarios, there has to be equity built in that home because that's where your profit lies. But maybe you're an investor that maybe does sub twos or lease options where you can pay full market value for the home and still make money. But that's the beauty of a system like Deal Driven, is that you could do what I call stacking your list, stacking motivation. So you could pick like your pre-foreclosures. All right, contacting sellers that are in pre-foreclosure. Here's kind of the process. So you could skip trace. If you've never heard of skip tracing, here's an easy way of where they came up with that word. So does everybody, let me know in the chat, does everybody know what like a Bell's bondsman is? Like you go to jail and they're the ones that loan you the money to get you out of jail. Surely you guys know that.
Yeah, we got Kevin nodding. Got some folks smiling, embarrassingly.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm,
kidding.
I'm like, or you may have hired one for your buddy. So, what the Bell's bondsman does when somebody skips bail is they do what's called a skip trace. So, somebody skipped bail, so they're trying to trace them down. As a real estate investor, you can do what's called a skip trace, which is a lighter version of what a like a Bell's bondsman does.
Mom,
So
I
you
wanted to go
can
to.
find phone numbers, emails for these sellers. Then you can cold call them. You can send letters. You can send direct mail. You can do pay-per-click campaigns, Facebook ads, outdoor advertising. You can go knock on the door. Whatever you've got to do to get in touch with somebody that is in this scenario. Um, and I keep hitting these buttons, but I'll tell you, here is a basic script for calling somebody that's in pre-foreclosure. Now I'm going to go through this real quick here on this pre-foreclosure call. And if you guys will join me next Tuesday, I'm going to be going over scripts and how to talk to sellers on the phone. Okay. And how to make this like the easiest thing that you've ever did because you're comfortable with it. But here's my basic script for pre-foreclosures. Hey, John, this is Julie. How are you doing today? Okay, good, good. Well, the reason that I'm reaching out is because I received your name from a list that leads me to believe that you need to sell your property. Usually, whenever you say that, the person on the phone will say, well, what list are you talking about? Why do I say it that way? I say it that way because I don't want to call somebody on the phone and say, hey, I noticed that you were filed a lawsuit about you losing your house, right? So you want to lead to water. You don't want to throw them in the water and drown them, right? So next it says, I did notice that your property is in a pre-foreclosure status. And by the way, I specialize in helping people just like you avoid foreclosure by purchasing their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. And in a lot of cases, we're actually able to buy the property as well as put a little bit of money in your pocket. So you're able to move on to the next stage of your life in a better position. So, do you mind if I come out there and meet with you, take a look at the property, and see how I could best work with you on this? So one thing, if you join next Tuesday, that you'll see is that I never use these scripts verbatim. I live in Georgia. Obviously, you can tell I have an accent. We're all going to say things a little bit differently. you've got to put your own piece of it in there. People know if you're genuine or not, right? They know that inherently about you, but never be afraid to make these particular calls. So, here are some options to help people avoid foreclosure. Here's my thing. If I'm meeting with a seller that is in pre-foreclosure, even if I don't buy that house and they avoid that foreclosure, to me, it's a win. Do you know why it's a win? It's a win because I do feel like in life you get back what you put out there. And I know if if I go and try to help people out of foreclosure and they can keep their house, I'm going to get a few that aren't going to have that option and they are going to need to sell to me. So really understanding what the options are to avoid foreclosure is crucial. So, like one conversation when I meet with a seller is, hey, have you guys ever tried a loan modification? Meaning calling the bank and seeing if they can modify that loan to kind of maybe put your back payments on the back end of that loan. Strangely enough, Roland, when we were at the live event, I don't remember there was, and I'm not going to call his name out, a gentleman and his wife was there. And 4 years ago, they were at a live event and were in foreclosure. And they came up to me personally and asked what they should do. And you know what? We called the bank and they were able to modify their loan. And ever since that day, they just hit a rough patch in life. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They were literally able to put that to the back of their loan and move forward. And let me just tell you, if you could see them now, like on all the things that they've done, not only just like financially wise, but just personally, like this is possible for people. So, this is the first thing I always tell folks, try for that loan modification if you can. I don't want you to lose your house, but I'm here if you need somebody to buy it, right?
Absolutely. That's step one of pulling their head out of the sand, right?
Yeah. Giving them options. The next thing I tell people is, and you may not have this because not everybody has, um, not everybody has a rich relative. I sure didn't necessarily have rich relatives in my life, but hey, is there anybody that you can borrow money from that can help you catch up these payments? Refinance. Refinance is a little bit harder because like usually when somebody's in pre-foreclosure, it's not just like all of a sudden one day they just decided to stop paying their mortgage. Something had to have happened, like a job loss, a death, a divorce. So sometimes refinancing is not even an option just because they cannot qualify to refinance. But if you could do that, that's great. Or people sometimes rent it so they can get those monthly payments, list with a real estate agent so that they can sell the house before it goes to auction. Now, let me tell you, do you think it's better to list with a real estate agent or with you or to sell the house to you? I cannot tell you how many sellers that I've talked to at the beginning of the process chose to list with a real estate agent. The real estate agent talked them into selling it at some astronomical amount that they basically run out of time. There's about one thing and one thing only that sells a house quick when it's listed with a real estate agent, and that's always going to be the price. Right? So that may not be the best solution, but a lot of agents out there really know what they're doing by pricing the property correctly and stopping that foreclosure. So at least they don't walk out of there with their credit ruined. A cash offer. Now, this is the one that I say bing bing because they're getting a cash offer for their home. I very rarely will ever wholesale a deal that is a pre-foreclosure. The reason why I do not do that is because if I'm going to a seller to tell them, hey, I'm going to help you stop this foreclosure so that you don't lose it back to the bank, then I'm probably going to try to go more to the fix and flip route for me personally. There's also creative financing. There's lots of people out there, or maybe you on this call are into creative financing. By the way, we haven't talked a whole lot about this, but we now offer creative financing here at Partner Driven on the purchase side of things. So we will work with sellers to maybe even catch their payments up, take over their mortgage so that we can flip it so that they don't lose their house back to the bank. Some people offer a deed in lieu. The very risky side of this thing is telling people to file bankruptcy. When someone files bankruptcy, it immediately stops that foreclosure. Just if you were going to go down this route, know exactly what you're doing and what you're expecting to tell others to do when filing for bankruptcy. Okay. But that is a way. The other way is a short sale. Sometimes individuals have a loan that's in foreclosure that they owe more than that house is worth. Well, I promise you, a short sale, even though that will tarnish your credit, is better than a foreclosure. Okay, so that's another options. So here's the three most commonly used options to avoid foreclosure: loan modification, cash offer, creative financing, and the bankruptcy route. Here's the three most commonly hardships that cause foreclosure. Number one, bank induced, life induced, meaning something's happened, or self-induced. What's self-induced? Self-induced is maybe I get addicted to drugs or something, right? Maybe I've, not able to take care of what I need to. That happens a lot. We all know or either been there ourselves. But I love the idea of getting the banks off of people's back, right? It's us against those big banks. So, so guys, that concludes my session on pre-foreclosures tonight and why it is so important and why this is such a great strategy for you to work these individuals. Because listen, this is the easiest thing to tell somebody. Why in the world would you want somebody to ruin their credit for 7+ years? Has anybody, be honest, has anybody in here ever went bankrupt or went in foreclosure? That is not a fun process. Not when you can go help them solve their property problems and make it a win-win on both sides. So if you're looking to do real estate deals, I don't care if you're wholesaling, flipping, doing creative financing, buying and renting properties, there's not more of a motivated seller than individuals in foreclosure. And more times than not, you'll see that people do not take the necessary steps to protect themselves to losing their home because of fear. So I mean, I really, what I don't mind doing, Roland, is let's talk for a little bit about partner driven, if you would, Roland, and what we do, because this is just part of the training that we train every day, every week here at Partner Driven. And kind of, Roland, explain to everybody what it is we do here at Partner Driven if this is their first time, or they might need a reminder. And I'll be back to answer questions.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. Thank you for that. Obviously, lots of ways to help people. And again, this is just one channel of marketing, which is helping somebody who is in pre-foreclosure. Because again, talk about highly motivated. Matter of fact, as you were speaking, it reminded me of, I don't think Bob is on the call today, or else I would call him up here. But I spoke with Bob today, and he was mentioning a very exact scenario. Has an 83-year-old potential seller, 83 years old, being foreclosed on. She's under the impression that I'm 83, the banks will not foreclose on me. They wouldn't do that. And me and Bob kind of chuckled. It's like, unfortunately, they will. They will. Yeah, they're definitely not ageist, right? They're going to take that house as quickly as they can. What makes matters worse, she took out $50,000. I'm not sure if it was a personal loan or if she borrowed from somebody, but she took out 50,000 to kind of stay afloat the last couple of years. But now she's got to pay that back too. So she has no choice. Her back is against the wall. And that's just one prime example of how we help people when it comes to doing deals. Like Julie said, we want to make it a win-win. But at the end of the day, whether you're doing pre-foreclosures, whether you're going directly for fix and flip or creative deals, whatever the case may be, you're going to need capital. You're going to need money. And that's what Peter and Julie have put together here in Partner Driven is an opportunity. When you come across a deal, you don't have to jump through the hoops of a hard money lender, private investors, things of that nature. Simply by becoming a partner, being aligned with Partner Driven, when you come across that same situation, that same deal, just let Peter and Julie know. Get it under contract. And we've got a whole entire system that allows you to get a deal where we pay 100% of the whole entire thing. We're not lending you money, nothing to qualify for, right? We also pay for the rehab and repair. And Julie, as humble as she is, did not even once mention that she is a rehab queen expert. I mean, all of our rehabs go through her. She's managing them. She knows what to do. She knows how to make money on a deal. So if you're a contractor on this call and you want to double dip and make money, guess what? Julie is the perfect person to meet, to know, because you guys will kind of have a meeting of the minds as far as what to do with the property. But bottom line, if you're a contractor, great. You can double dip, potentially do the deal and get paid to do so. If you're not a contractor, which most of us aren't, that's okay. If Peter was here, he'll probably tell you that he himself can't even change a light bulb. Yet he's done over 4,000 deals, right? So no fret if you don't know how to do rehab or construction. We've got your back because we do have a community of contractors that Julia's put together that will help you regardless of where you live. So we'll deploy our contractors no matter where you live, which also means if you're in a state where, let's say, doing deals just doesn't make sense for whatever reason, no one's saying you can't cross state lines to do real estate. That's why I tell all my folks in Hawaii, hey, if you're going to get into real estate, be open to doing deals in the mainland, right? Because if not, you're competing against the Oprahs and the Zuckerbergs out there. But the point is, as a partner member, you come across a deal. Not only do we hold your hand, teach you, train you along every step of the way, coach you through the entire process, but again, we provide 100% of the capital, 100% of the rehab, and we're always going to typically sell the property to get a quick return and where we split profits 50-50. That is what we're speaking about tonight. That is the vehicle that Peter and Julie, our founders, have put together. And that is what's helping many people across the US, regardless of experience and background, finally get into real estate. Or if you have done deals, finally help you scale and make it a predictable, reliable income stream where you can potentially be job optional. Having said that, Julie, that's us in a nutshell. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'd love to do some Q&A here if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be important too to let everybody know is if you would like to talk to us about becoming a partner here at Partner Driven, all you gotta do is click the link. Miss Rika is gonna put that up. The beautiful young lady, the other beautiful young lady with glasses on here is gonna put that in the chat. All you gotta do is click that link. And like Roland said, we do all the things he said, but we also train you on how to do this business. We want to do more deals, right? We do this because we want to do more deals. That's how we make money. And we do that through partnering with individuals all across the United States. Like you were talking about Nashville earlier. I got a rehab coming up done on Shade Tree Lane in Nashville coming up and going to be done in 2 weeks. Got another one. I can't even think of the name of that city, but it's about 30 minutes to the west of Nashville. I can't think of the name, but I mean, we love doing deals all over the nation and we want to do more this year. So just click that link in the chat. Now, if you have any questions for myself, for Roland, Roland's been doing this a long time. He is a great big wealth of knowledge about this business. So if you have any questions, all you've got to do is raise that Zoom hand and then we'll bring you on. I don't mind to answer any questions that you might have. I've been doing this quite a while, a little over 15 years.
There was someone in the chat, Julie, Tracy, and you did answer her question, but just for everyone else who's not looking at the chat, she asked how we find the deals, and then you mentioned a couple different options like deal driven, things like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I was just asking,
Oh, there she is.
do you guys partner with other investors and like for doing JV deals?
So are you meaning partner with a partner that is finding a deal through a wholesaler? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the problem with working with wholesalers, to be quite honest. Okay. I'm not saying every deal from a wholesaler is a bad deal. It's not, because by the way, I love wholesaling. I still do it to this day.
Actually, what I'm saying is, do you guys provide lists for wholesalers?
Okay. So like you're trying to wholesale and you want us to provide you a list.
Yeah, do you guys sell lists or anything like that of
We,
potential
we do not,
foreclosures?
we do not sell lists, and you shouldn't buy any either,
Okay. You just
because
teach like how to find
how
the
to do,
properties?
girl, this stuff is free.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather teach you how to fish than hand you the fish. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
pre-foreclosures is just one way of finding deals. But absolutely we show you how to find those deals, because we do a lot of different things. We do buy, fix, and sells. Sometimes I buy, clean up, and sell as is. Sometimes we buy, pre-list on the MLS, and do a double close. Because by the way, wholesaling is becoming illegal in many, many, many states. And if you do not have the funds to predict a double close, or to use a real estate agent to sell that property, you may not even be able to do that in your state much longer. So
You mean to do a double close is illegal?
doing a double close is not illegal. Like, let me give you an example. In the state of Illinois, they were the first one to kind of jump on this bandwagon. So when you're wholesaling, and you may know this, Tracy, I'm just answering this because there may be people on the call that don't understand what wholesaling is. Okay.
Yes. Right.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So when you're wholesaling, you're essentially getting a contract with the seller, the owner of the actual property. Your contract, because you have it under contract, gives you equitable interest in the property. Okay.
Right. To be able to sell it.
You're not selling the house, you're selling your equitable interest into the house. Okay.
Right.
And
To be able to sell the contract.
yes, and you're making
To
what's
assign
called
the contract to
an
somebody else.
assignment fee. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
For
Uh-huh.
instance, in the state of Illinois, you can do that one time a year.
Okay.
It's already starting to happen in North Carolina. Tennessee is already starting all of this because there's lots of lobbyists and things from the realtor association. And honestly, there are wholesalers that go watch YouTube videos and do not treat sellers properly, and they're the ones that suffer. So unfortunately, the industry has suffered because of nefarious actions by others. Now, however, Tracy,
Does a real estate license protect you from that?
a lot of brokers won't even let you do this if you're licensed.
Mm.
Okay. Now, what some brokers, right? It's kind of like a thin line because they don't want to get in trouble. Here's kind of how, I wouldn't say we get around it. It's not getting around it. Here's how we do it. Our purchase contract allows us the right to pre-market the property through any broker's choosing, included but not limited to the MLS, the internet, and all different things. So the seller is signing off on the right for us to market the property before we buy the property. Does that make sense?
So they know that that's what you're doing.
They know that's what we're
Before,
doing.
whenever you buy the property, you have to be transparent that you will not own the property, and so therefore you're going to assign it to somebody else. And that
Yes.
right there is what makes it legal, correct?
If it wasn't illegal in that state, okay? Because a lot of the
Oh, it's
legality,
even if you do that,
even if you
it
do that,
still
it
can be
doesn't
legal.
matter. It still is. Yes, that's what
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
okay.
That's what's making this thing, like making it hard, that if everybody doesn't grow with this business, they're going to be left, right? So what I'm telling
Yeah,
you
I
is
live in
that,
Florida.
yeah, and by the way, I love Florida. I had an office in Jacksonville for many, many years.
Yeah.
Um, but what we do is we're not assigning. We are actually, because we utilize a real estate
Are you
agent.
a mortgage broker or a real estate broker?
I'm none. I'm a real estate investor.
Oh, just a real estate investor. Okay.
Mhm. So instead of assigning the property, you would utilize a real estate agent to list the property and procure a buyer. At closing, you are not At closing, you're not assigning that property to the end buyer and collecting an assignment fee. You put the money up for this buy of the property, and then you turn around and sell it same day or a couple of days. In some states, it can't be done simultaneously. It has to actually record on title. And I may
What
be,
about bird dogging? Is that illegal?
well, bird dogging, you're just finding deals for investors.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Bird
You're
dogging is not legal in any state.
Well, you're finding, as a bird dog, what you're doing is you're finding leads for an investor, and you're making a
Yeah,
bird dog fee, and then your investor is paying you money.
right. That's what I kind of do too. So
So that's
mostly I do
great.
the bird dogging.
So
So
what I'm telling
I
you, if
look
partner
for
driven
foreclosed people
is,
foreclosing and
well, let me throw this out to you, Tracy. With partner driven, you're not bird dogging. You are the investor, and then you bring the deals to us, and we put all the money up and split the profits.
okay.
And I have the
Yeah,
team, I have
yeah,
the
I do that.
legality.
I do that with one other investor that's my partner.
Hey Tracy, are you speaking to someone here, one of our advisors?
Do what?
Are you speaking to another advisor here, one of us sales reps here?
Am I speaking to you right now or?
No, no, no. Are you speaking to someone here, partner driven, aside from tonight's webinar? Only reason why I ask is because based on your questions, um, I don't think you are. I could be wrong. I'd love to get you back on our
No, no,
calendar.
no, I don't. No, I don't believe so.
Okay, that's okay.
I
That's
mean,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
he could be a part of you guys. I'm
I
not
mean, my
sure.
God, she could be like sitting here instead of getting bird dog fees, girl, you could be making a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
more money.
We'd love to speak with you, Tracy. So please click the link. That way, one of our partner advisors, like myself or someone else on the team here, like tonight, will give you a call directly. Would that be okay?
Okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah, in the chat, you'll see a link there to book a call, schedule a call, and we'll be sure to call you either tonight or tomorrow. That way, we get all of your questions answered.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, I thought this is the same thing. This is just something else here. I thought this
No,
is what I
it,
filled out whenever
this
I.
is you're right. This is just a live Q&A. You don't have to schedule a call with us. It's just if you wanted to talk about it further, you could schedule a call.
Okay, sure. I'll talk to you a little further about it. Like I said, I've already like partnered with an investor in that same kind of deal where he teaches me, how to do
Right.
flips and
Which is also why, Tracy, it makes even
every
more sense
aspect
to talk.
of realtoring of
Absolutely,
using
absolutely. Which is why it
of
makes
real
even more
estate.
Tracy,
sense to speak.
I hope you find 100 deals this year, girl. You got the
Oh,
opportunity
me
in
too.
Florida.
All right,
I tell you
Tracy.
what, I reach out anywhere I can find information or connect with somebody else that,
You need to
would help
use
me out on my way
get
because,
an app
you know,
like Deal Driven or Prop Stream or one of those, and that's really what's going to take you to the next level, Tracy. But I've got to move on to more questions. But like,
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign a
I'm
call
having a hard
to
time to
talk to
not
him.
just want to show you everything because I
I
want
know.
to so
I'll
bad.
do my best to control you, Julie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and schedule a time to talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome, Tracy. Thanks for being here. Hey, Damon, glad you
Alrighty.
made the call, Damon. I know you had a couple of questions. I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but I know we've been texting back and forth. You've had a couple of questions. And as I mentioned, your questions will really be best served by Julie because it's more on the construction rehab side. So I hate to catch you off guard, but I'd love
Oh
to bring
yeah,
you
my
up.
favorite
Yeah.
questions. Is that Damon with the red shirt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're on mute, honey. There
There
you
it
go.
is.
Yeah, I didn't have him as of now. I think the last time we spoke, Roland, we kind of
Well, yeah, if I
cleared
recall,
him
it was
up.
something along the lines of who does the rehab, how much does it cost, who's kind of coming up with the budget along those lines. I can look it up, but that was just off my head, off my memory. I can look it
Um,
up.
Oh, I think it was more of the scheduling.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
exactly,
scheduling
exactly.
for the actual process to happen. So I'm a real estate developer. So my history is as far as being a GC goes back some almost 40 years. So I was just trying to figure out when you first get into the property and whatnot and scheduling and budgeting stuff like that. Would you like us to do it or do you guys do it?
Well, Damon, could I just kind of go back and forth with you and then I'll explain
Yeah,
the whole process?
yeah.
Okay. It's because I'm real analytical like that. Where are you located?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Okay, perfect. All right. So you are a general contractor there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I prefer to say developers.
Well,
Just say
develop.
contractor.
Okay. Well, I still think it.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, we don't do new construction.
No, no, I'm not.
Okay. So, you've already got, everything you need. So here's what it goes. So like when you're going around Dallas, Fort Worth, anywhere around where you are and you're looking for deals, okay? The first
Hmm.
thing you're going to do is it's your job to get the house under contract directly with the seller because as far as the seller's concerned, out there in the field, you are the investor. Partner driven is behind the scenes. We are not here to you to go and push partner driven's name out there.
Right,
We're there for to assist with you. Okay, Damon. So
right,
then you get it under contract. You take a bunch of pictures. Okay, because I have to see the property. Once
right.
you've taken those pictures, you've got the house under contract. You're going to submit that back to my office. And let me tell you, when you get a contract that's signed, somebody is with you like this. Because everybody remember, we talk about, oh, we put up the money and split profits 50-50. Guess what? We get 50% of the profits. I don't sit on deals because I want to make the money too. So then he's going to go through, you're going to actually get a call from Peter himself, and then you're going to go over finding out what the actual values of the properties are. He's going to say, Damon, do you got any buddies that are real estate agents that you can help get me the ARVs of this property for or the
Yeah.
as is value? Okay. Once y'all determine what that is and the numbers still work, I'm already looking at this deal from the photos. Because Damon, you're going to sell in the submission form. Hey, this property's $65,000 worth of work. It don't got to be spot on. It's a guesstimate, right? Initially. So once the numbers check out, we look at the photos, immediately we start talking. Okay. And you're going to say, hey, here's what needs to be done. Then I'm going to agree with you. We're going to talk back and forth because every house is different.
Hmm.
And actually, you're physically looking at that property. I'm looking at it through photos. You're
Hmm.
then going to give me a bid. This is going to be a detailed bid. I,
Hmm.
on every single real estate deal, am going to order a home inspection from a licensed home inspector. Now,
Right,
he's probably over here going, those guys don't know as much as I know. I know that. But I need to know what the bank is going to look at when we go to sell it on the back end. Because listen, when
right.
you're flipping houses, you always fix what's wrong before you fix what's ugly.
Can I
Well,
ask you a question real quick?
not right now, Tracy, just one moment. So then once we look at that bid, I'm going to cross-reference those two. You and I are going to make sure we've covered everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go to closing. Once all those numbers line up, we go to close. Okay, so when we talk about scheduling, even though you are a partner, I want you to run that job like you run it for any other customer.
Right.
I want you to provide me the schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not managing your job site.
Okay.
I'm managing that you do what you told me you were going to do.
All right.
I don't do 50% down on a job. It's I'd rather pay 3, 4 draws a week than one big draw. Now, I do draw as long as it's submitted the same day and you get me photos of the evidence that the work's been done and you give that to me by 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll get a wire same day
Okay.
because I know that you have a company to run too.
Yeah.
I don't ask for discounts either. And I'm
Yeah.
saying this to everybody on this call. I do not want to work with a contractor that tells me, "Hey, but I can do this for half the price because I'm doing the work." If both of the businesses, and Damon, I'm just saying this to everybody, if both businesses do not stand alone, this will never work for nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that's how we do it. We run it just like any other job. And then, like, if we talk about like Preston, like some people on here were at the live event, him and I've done so many deals together. There's not as many formalities later because
Hmm.
that first deal, we just got to get to know each other, you know?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, I
And
agree.
then everything past that's gravy. So on the first job, yeah, I don't want you to bring me a house that's got to have full electrical, full plumbing redone,
Yeah.
down to the studs. No, I'd rather at minimum at least give me a 50,000 job or below. I don't want to do a $150,000 renovation on our first deal together.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I just answered your question or over answered
No, you did.
it.
My thing was, you said by 2 p.m. What time? What time zone?
Eastern. We're just in Georgia. And
Okay.
we have to have it turned into our bank by 2.
Okay. Um,
So, like
that's
we're going to have our draw schedule, I mean, I understand on the first draw, we got to have some money for materials up front for this and that, which is fine. But I don't want your guys sitting around waiting to get paid on a Friday either
okay.
or a
Yeah, they're pretty
Monday.
fast.
Yeah.
They work pretty fast. Yeah, they like to get stuff knocked out. So
Yeah.
I think that was basically my only question right there.
Which I love Dallas. I've done quite a few flips in Dallas
Yeah,
and I love them all.
yeah, yeah. It's
I'm like,
the
who
economy's
don't love working in Texas?
yeah, the economy's pretty good here for that.
Oh yeah.
Also, what if I find something that's not in DFW, just in the state of Texas?
That's fine too.
Okay, okay,
That's fine too. I mean, you might find something and you may have relatives in Alabama, Michigan, Arizona. Here's the point. If it's a good deal, I figure it out every time.
okay. All right. That was kind of it for me. That was my
Okay.
main thing.
Great question, Damon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Damon. Not only did you answer that question, Julie, but you also described my dating life with my wife when we first got right. Just the first date is kind of, all the rules are there, but after this first date, all rules are out the window. I'm just teasing. Philip, glad you made the call. Go ahead, unmute. There you are.
Yeah, I'm still learning this. Um, I believe you had mentioned when we talked, or I've heard it said, so someone that finds a deal, but they don't want to be the contractor, and you guys have to source it some other way. Um, is there a list? Uh, is there some way to get on that list as a contractor?
The only way to get on my list as a contractor is if you are a partner.
Okay, that answers that question.
Yeah.
So
Um,
what you're saying is in the areas that you guys function, which means you have to have a boots on the ground person in that area. If you have
mhm.
multiple folks in that area, they can help each other out.
They can. Like I'm actually closing on one tomorrow. I don't know why my camera's doing that weird thing, but we're closing on one tomorrow where Vance lives in Tennessee. Preston lives in Alabama, but Vance found the deal in Alabama. But Preston is the like he owns a construction company. So he's doing the construction for another partner. Because here's what I feel about that. That goes for construction and that also goes for real estate agents. Why we have to pay that regardless. Why in the world do we not keep that like in the family, I guess you would say?
Right. And so what I'm hearing is if someone's not so active finding properties, if they're a partner, then they still could get
Yeah, where are you
contacted.
located, Philip?
South Mississippi.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll be coming by there soon. I live in Georgia, but I also live in Louisiana.
Yeah, it's a very eclectic area compared to the rest of the state.
Well, the South's eclectic either way.
Awesome.
I'm about to be traveling through Florida all the way to Texas, going through Georgia, Louisiana, and all those states.
Well, listen, the hardest part's going to be driving through Alabama. That's the longest drive of them all.
Is it?
Yes, girl, it takes forever. Mississippi's like this.
Hey, Michelle, glad you made the call. I was actually going to call on you to kind of pivot because I know coming from a real estate background, I want to kind of see how we work with partners that are licensed agents. But you have a question in the chat, which I'll ask Julie. I know she can hear me. Are you guys there for the construction?
Yeah. Like even with what like with the people that are going to do the rehab, the construction workers, are you guys there during that point? Like do you guys have people all over the country to help with that?
I do. And believe it or not, I utilize my real estate agent to help me out a good bit.
And by the way, Julie, Michelle is a real estate agent.
And I'll tell you why. I don't use real estate agents just to sell the property. I want them to believe in the property that they're selling. So even before I ever even buy the house, I've already picked who the real estate agent is, and I want to know what their opinion is of what we should do to the house to get the highest sell value. So a lot of times they're going and checking up on the house, or I send one of my people there.
You broke up. You said one of your what people?
One of our people there. I go visit lots of properties. A lot of people that work for me go visit properties. I've done this long enough to know I don't just send contractors money without checking on the jobs. You know what I mean? I just wanted to explain to you how valuable like a real estate agent's opinion is for everybody on this call when they're flipping houses, how important like your opinion is of the whole situation.
So
We're
what if you get a place under contract and the numbers don't work? Like, is that what you guys teach us how to work out the numbers and all?
Oh, absolutely we do.
Okay.
And just like retail real estate, not every deal is going to go through. You know that, you know what I mean? So we teach you those numbers, but the even bigger thing is because we know our numbers so well, we make deals out of deals that weren't there in the first place.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Michelle.
All right, let's see here. Got a couple more minutes here before I let Julie go. Don't want to keep her all night. Last questions.
I
I know
just wish
Tracy.
everybody that was on this call would schedule a call with us. I would
Yeah,
listen. This, like one thing we talk about every day, Peter and I, the only thing we talk about is doing more deals year over year over year. And we're just looking for amazing partners, like a lot of these people we've talked to tonight, to just do more deals.
absolutely, Julie. And I think Tracy, you should have got your question answered, but I want to make sure. You asked, do we cut the check before the rehab or after? And I think you got that answer right.
Yeah, it would be after.
Final call. Last minute questions for Julie while I have her here. Eric, I
Eric,
see you.
Hey guys.
hey,
Okay, so I just started I just started my own LLC doing an Airbnb thing.
nice.
Um does running this through an LLC beneficial for everybody involved?
Okay, I cannot give you advice on your taxes,
Well, that's fair.
but I can tell you this. What you do in your LLC, as far as I'm concerned or partner driven's concerned, it doesn't matter to us because we send you your profits to whatever bank account you want.
Gotcha.
As a friend, I will tell you, I write off everything. And without an LLC, you can't do that.
I'm glad we're friends.
And as your BFF, I would concur. Uh,
Okay, perfect.
I do not know
And
why this is doing this. I'm so sorry.
um so I just had a couple other questions. So right now there's no sales territories or anything. You just find a lead, report it, work it, get it under contract, work it with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. There are yeah, this is definitely not a franchise.
Okay.
Yeah. And two, there's so much opportunity everywhere. You could literally put 50 investors in one town and you still would never touch each other. There's just so much real estate out there and so much opportunity. Like there is no competition.
Okay. So with that then, would this be kind of like a no pressure quota? Like, do you guys just let the deals come in, or are you guys like, hey, we want to hit this many targets, things like that?
We want to hit this many targets, but we do not put quotas on people we work with.
Okay.
Like let me give you like we had a celebration today on our management meeting and Roland was there. And our celebration was that our partners got 18 signed contracts in the last week. We don't judge our company based off of we know that the more signed contracts that we have, the more
Mm-hmm.
deals that we do, that to me and Roland and Peter judges how successful we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only metric that I care about because I
Gotcha.
know if that's happening, then we're doing the right thing.
Okay.
I'm
Good
going
to
to tell
know.
you, Eric, I want one every day, Eric. But so
Not bad.
I'm never going to hold you back from anything. I promise you that.
Okay, that's cool. Um, so now, how long does a typical deal last? Like if you guys, you from lead to deposit.
Okay, so if you so have you bought an Airbnb yet?
So I converted my house into an Airbnb. Then I bought a second property that's adjacent, and I'm rehabbing it right now. So I was just like kind of looking for like financing kind of a situation and stuff like that, as I've got it's an upfront cost. On a side note, uh, this is actually spurred on by the North Dakota tourism. So I put my budget for $140,000 rehab, and then I will actually, if I get approved, then I'll get 70 back. So it's a grant. So I get my whole project done for half the price. So
No, I love that.
um anyway, so that's
So
what got me into this.
gotcha. So and I wanted to answer your question based off of time. So even the house you brought across the street, right?
Yeah.
That probably took you what, 30 to 40 days to close?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the sales process when we sell a house could be 30 to 40 days. Just
Gotcha.
because that's title has to be ran. Our back end buyers are generally homeowners.
Okay.
Okay. So if we are buying, fixing, and selling a house, we've got to buy it, we've
Mm-hmm.
got to renovate it, and we have to resell it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I try to be in a renovation less than 90, it's 90 days to 4 months at the most, because the quicker that we complete the renovation, and Damon's probably in the background saying, she's saying quick. Quick doesn't always matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's quick, but done right the first time
Right.
because we want to put quality work out there.
All about it.
Um, so you have to look at that time, plus we have to buy it. So for a fix and flip, and it's got to be on the market and sold, that could be 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, though, that would help you a lot, especially if you're looking to flip and you're looking to do Airbnbs, is that you probably don't want to take down every property you find.
Right.
What I would suggest too is adding wholesaling to it because that gives you quicker money. We just split $40,000 with a partner and it took us 3 weeks. That's because we got it under contract and we listed it immediately with a real estate agent and found a buyer on the back end.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Because a lot of like people that teach real estate investing don't teach them how to go direct to seller. They say, hey, go to the MLS, find deals that need work, and then buy those.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can put all that out there too. So the thing that I love about you, like I love the idea of Airbnbs, but like for me, it's long-term gains
Mm-hmm.
and I need bigger chunks of money than that.
Oh, I had a question on that. Like, what kind of typical margin do you guys like, or like ROI do you guys typically target?
Okay, so we can buy anywhere up to 95% of the as is value.
Oh, okay.
Okay, another believer that I'm in is, I don't know, do you like baseball?
Sure.
Okay, I played softball growing up.
I have a
I
guess.
always tell people this: home runs don't win ball games, base hits win ball games. So
Gotcha.
if we're doing a deal and you and I split $6,000 on this one and we split 30 on this one, 40 on this one, 15 on this one, I want them all.
All right. Okay, okay.
It's this business, and even for your Airbnb game, it's all about finding deals.
Okay.
Not
Uh,
to mention what you'll learn in our program too is
mhm.
creative financing, and that's going to blow your mind if you're holding properties on the back end. I've never used a bank to buy a property and rent it out or do short-term rentals. Never, ever, ever.
Okay.
The key is how to find deals. That's what makes somebody really successful, Eric, because he already knows what grants are going on. I mean, like when you really know how to find deals, dude, you're going to be unstoppable.
Okay. Good, because I have 4 kids and I have no backup plan right now. I just need straight up cash for college.
Th- Eric, I hear you.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thanks. I won't take up any more of you
Yeah,
guys'
and I
time.
wouldn't mind visiting North Dakota neither, Roland. You and I
No,
will
me
have to
too.
go.
We do have a ski hill. You guys can check out my Airbnb, Walhalla, North Dakota, and then
Look
right
at
next
that.
door.
Look at that shameless drop. I love it. Love it.
Well, come
Yeah.
on out. Come on out, you guys.
Love it, Eric. Glad you joined us tonight. I'll be sure you connect with Sandy soon, okay?
Okay.
Michelle, last question.
Are most of the deals pre-foreclosures? Like, do you get deals from the MLS or from other sources, or could we, I should say?
So, like tonight, I just showed you one little bitty strategy. Like, I barely scratched the surface. I honestly don't care where you find the deals as long as they're direct to seller. Now, on the MLS, I don't teach people to find deals on the MLS because when it gets to the MLS, it's on 78,000 plus websites across the world. So if it's a good deal, generally it's gone. But Michelle, if I'm a real estate agent, I would talk to anybody in my brokerage about their pocket listings because those are not advertised. So if you know real estate agents that have sellers that want to sell their house, but they don't have them listed to the population, I'd be going after those all day long. Actually, a few of my partners build their entire business on just that strategy alone.
Thank you.
Did that help, Michelle?
Yes, thank you very much.
Mhm. Okay, good. Well, guys, I had a great time this evening. Go ahead, click that link in the chat. And by the way, I will continue to do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Next week, Roland and I will be discussing how to talk to sellers, how to communicate with sellers, which is huge. That is the crux of this. And we'll continue to bring that value every Tuesday. We are looking for more partners. If you are of like mindset, we would love to have you. But that's all I got, Roland.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Again, click the link. Appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. One of our partner advisors will give you a call, if not tonight, as soon as tomorrow. And again, on behalf of Partner Driven, thanks for being here. Have a great night.
Thank you.